PG with you here with a quick Second Amendment update for February 19th, 2013. Missouri Democrats are trying to rid the state of the evil assault-style weapons, whatever those are, and high-capacity gun magazines. Surprised they didn't put magazine clips. Democrats in the state house have proposed a bill that would force gun owners to either surrender or destroy weapons, including semi-automatic rifles with detachable magazines and semi-automatic pistols with a fixed magazine that can shoot more than 10 rounds before being reloaded.
By the way, if anybody can show me what a handgun with a fixed, non-detachable magazine looks like, I'd sure appreciate it. I used to call those revolvers.
Ammunition feeding devices that can hold more than 10 rounds would also be banned. Owners could also send their weapons to another state instead of surrendering or destroying them, and would have 90 days after the bill's passage to make a decision.
Really? 90 days to decide what to do with your legally owned rifle? Salus Populi Suprema Lexisto. What does that mean? United we stand, divided we fall. And that's the state slogan. I'm sorry I butchered your Latin. That's the state slogan of the state of Missouri. According to St. Louis lawmaker Caleb Jones, he says, the only way this bill will pass is if the hammer and sickle is sewn onto Old Glory.
So let's get this straight. Let's say I live in Missouri, and I own one of these right now, legally. Oh, for the safety patrol. Let's just give it a quick check here. Good. So I own one of these. Now, this AR-15, I'm going to say the way that it's set up, $1,400, $1,500, legally owned, instantly becomes a felony. I've got to make the choice of either sell it to somebody out of state, give it away, or give it to the police to destroy.
You know, something just don't ring right with that. It seems like we've tried this one before. Let's look at history. By the way, if you don't have a copy of this, this is a copy of the Constitution of the United States of America. I'm sure if you contact the Tea Party in your town, they'll send you a copy. Now let's take a look at the last time the United States government tried grabbing something that was formerly legal and then suddenly decided they were going to make it illegal.
Amendment 18. After 1 year from the ratification of this article, the manufacture, sale, or transportation of intoxicating liquors within, the importation thereof into, or the exportation thereof from the United States and all territories subject to the jurisdiction thereof for beverage purposes is hereby prohibited. The Congress and several states shall have concurrent power to enforce this article upon appropriate legislation. This article shall be inoperative unless it shall have been ratified by an amendment to the Constitution by the legislatures of the several states as provided by the Constitution within 7 years of the date of submission hereof to the states by the Congress. By the way, this worked so well that it was repealed by the 21st Amendment on December 5th, 1933.
If we've learned anything from history, it's that banning things that are legal today simply doesn't work. When the 18th Amendment was written, there was a health crisis going on. the same words being used today to try to ban assault style or military style or really semi-automatic rifles that have plastic furniture on them was used then to try to outlaw alcoholic beverages. The statistics show that many more lives would have been saved by keeping alcohol illegal than will ever be saved by the banning of even one single kind of firearm.
So I want to encourage you right now, go over on Facebook and like the Gun Rights Across America Missouri page. Give my friend and sister Carrie over there a hearty hello from old PG in Pennsylvania, and show them some love. Because if we don't stand together, we will fall apart. In other news, and in my opinion, really good news, on February 15th, gun retailer Cheaper Than Dirt became the 6th gun and ammunition retailer. Oh, wait a second. It's up to 7 today. Midway International also goes in with this. Announced that they will no longer sell their products and inventory to police and other government agencies in states that have instituted the Second Amendment restrictions on their citizens. In a new case of unintended consequences, gun and ammo sellers are choosing to follow the letter of the law.
They're going to hold law enforcement to the same standards that the law now holds the public. Recently, such companies such as LaRue Tactical and Olympic Arms have announced that they will no longer sell prohibited items to government agencies and personnel in states that deny the right to own these items to civilians.
It has been and will continue to be Cheaper Than Dirt's policy not to sell prohibited items. It has been and will continue to be Cheaper Than Dirt's policy to not sell prohibited items to government agencies and or agents in states, cities, counties, and municipalities that have enacted restrictive gun control laws against their citizens. We support and encourage other companies to share this policy. I want to read to you the press release from Olympic Arms, who are really the ones who started this. This is from their Facebook page. For immediate release, Olympic Arms is a staunch believer and defender in the Constitution of the United States, and with special attention paid to the Bill of Rights, that succinctly enumerates the security and divinely given rights. One of those rights is that to keep and bear arms.
Legislation recently passed in the state of New York outlaws the AR-15 and many other firearms, and will make illegal for the good and free citizens of New York to own a large selection of legal and safe firearms and magazines. We feel as though the passage of this legislation exceeds the authority granted to the government of New York by its citizens and violates the Constitution of the United States, ignoring such Supreme Court rulings as the District of Columbia versus Heller and McDonald versus Chicago, and specifically the case of the United States versus Miller. Due to the passing of this legislation, Olympic Arms would like to announce that the state of New York, any law enforcement departments, law enforcement officers, first responders within the state of New York, or any New York government entity or employee of such entity will no longer be served as customers.
In short, Olympic Arms will no longer be doing business with the state of New York or any governmental entity or employee of such governmental entity within the state of New York, henceforth and until such legislation is repealed and an apology made to the good people of the state of New York and the American people. If the leaders of the state of New York are willing to limit the right of the free and law-abiding citizens of New York to arm themselves as they see fit under the rights enumerate to all citizens of the United States, Through the Second Amendment, we feel as though the legislatures and government entities within the state of New York should have to abide by the same restrictions.
This action has caused a division of the people into two classes: those the government deems valuable enough to protect with modern firearms, and those whose lives have been deemed as having less value, and whom the government has decided not to deserve the right to protect themselves with the same firearms. Olympic Arms will not support such behavior or policy against any citizen of this great nation. Olympic Arms invites all firearms manufacturers, distributors, and firearms dealers to join us in this action to refuse to do business with the state of New York. We must stand together, or surely we will fall divided. So we want to encourage you to write to Glock, to Sig Sauer, to Remington, to Ruger, to Speer, and to Winchester, and encourage them politely to not do business with New York or any state that has enacted draconian gun control laws.
Please remember to go visit our site over at Gun Rights Across America, Missouri. Say hello to my sister Carrie over there. Tell her the PG sent you. Of course, we would love to see you over at the Gun Rights Across America, Pennsylvania page. And like us over there on Facebook. I'll put some links down below. Until next Monday, remember, God bless America. Again, keep your powder dry and never mind.